Grant me just a second. And there we go. Salutations, class, and welcome back. Tonight we'll be returning to an old favorite, Dead Cells, which I haven't gotten enough of in the past couple of weeks. We're fitting, well, really, it seems right now we're only trying to fit 3 games on our schedule, but I like to play them all so much more often, and it's difficult finding time for all 3 of them while keeping a healthy, balanced lifestyle outside of streaming. So, I hope you will help me in balancing things out and enjoying ourselves a nice evening of Dead Cells. Hey, I said, there you go. So, Siphon, I guess the last time you were here, we were 60 subs viewer. What happened is in that time that I wasn't streaming Dead Cells, a new character released for Guilty Gear. And with her, I found much new popularity, as I got a lot more exposure and visibility for my streams. Welcome, loser. How you doing? I do not have... Actually, I don't have any commands set up on Twitch, but I do not have one for lurking. Go watch, I mean, I'm sure you also have Res open in another window. Hope we can run some sets soon. I do have a friend who could learn from you. Ah, good night then, loser. It still feels so wrong to say. But always glad to see you. Will do. It might be sometime later today if you do have the time for that. Spinies. We shouldn't dally too long. We should find our way directly to the exit here. So, as usual, we'll want to get ourselves in a daily run, as there's still a few more items for us to find. And welcome, Kayla, by the way. I was busy answering Siphon's question. Which, speaking of Siphon, you've fallen exactly for my trap, and I've found you here on a Dead Cell stream, just as I wanted you to be. So my question for you is, if your computer is fixed, would you be interested in a programming stream soon? I would be delighted to educate. But of course I have to have the audience for it. I do want to use the cannon. Let's just bring that one up. And we are taking a lot of damage, but we don't really need to worry about that while we're here on the daily challenge. This is roughly equivalent to a 0 BC run, so it's not going to be difficult at all. Oh, that's right. He replaces our alternate slot because we don't have any weapon to put in the other one. Well, we will definitely want a legendary weapon if we're here for a daily run. I don't think I've ever seen legendary items here. Also planning to go to school for it next year. Congratulations, and I'm very happy to hear that. You have no idea. And boss should be just a short distance away. Go ahead and pop a flask since we are not going to worry about using too many of them for a simple daily run. And drop the cannon. Bring out our little sword boy here. Oh right, we need to enhance our DPS on him with Hokuto's bow. And a few critical hits should do the trick. Indeed. I could do general programming, but I think one of the easiest and most presentable things I could do would be starting off with some of the simple game design things. Platformer physics would be incredibly fundamental and allows me to teach about collisions and how they will work. Collisions are definitely the most important part of game design, I'd say. Thank you, Kayla. Though I have not yet had a chance to demonstrate, have I? You know what? As much as I love the rhythm in Bazooki, let's go for a little bit of unlimited power today. Take it nice and slow and handle our enemies from a distance. Excellent DPS. And we are on 3BC, okay. I wonder if we'll ever get an item which counts as drenching someone in water in the future. That would be incredibly useful for guaranteeing stun with a synergy with electric type attacks. Now, the lightning is the only thing that we have, which synergizes with tactics, so we will want to change our weapon set very soon. Zap that, zap this. Can you move chat to top left? Indeed I can. You know, I should probably get a room environment for every single different game I play. I have one for fighting games, which previously would actually have placed me in the center down there where that room code is. This is no longer relevant. And then I have one which actually places me in this corner and chat in another corner. Funny enough, they're not too different now. Previously I had... oh, right. It's because I was doing the collaboration with Vodem. That's why. Not a chance to dim it. Ooh, Rampart. Thank you very much. Plenty of knowledge in regard to the games that you play. And I teach as I go. Indeed. Seems I've done a little bit of the good work to get some folks interested in Dead Cells, which would be my goal. We don't need a cocoon if we have a shield, and one as important as the Rampart can't really be obsoleted even if it's not a tactics type item. Parry and zap. Ice shards is a very interesting idea. Let's go ahead and store that in the backpack. I don't know if that actually has synergy with, Acrobatic Pack. I don't know if that counts as a projectile in conjunction with the lightning bolt here. Drop this down. And it will take care of the zombie before we have to deal with him. Rhythm and Bazooki, how I miss you. But not this run, possibly in the future. Good spot to go. Where are we looking now? Ah, I know exactly what route we need to be doing. But first, we'll have to head back to the beginning. I believe we haven't broken ourselves into the cavern yet, have we? Ah, good, I have an extra jump. We will need this. And then we will take the route leading us into the graveyard, I believe. Actually didn't play Dead Cells since the last stream either. Well, we'll both have a wonderful evening then, I hope. With plenty of cells that happen to be dead. You know, that's interesting. Why is the map considered a tactics item? I think it might actually count as legendary like the grenade does, even though that one has a red aura, which would indicate that it is a brutality item. Climb up here. Stomp. Ooh, hello there. So we've only gotten a 52 kill streak, but the prisoner's quarters only checks for 30, which we've already passed. So if we take damage in here, we're not really set far behind. More importantly, we now have a full purple build, which gives us the maximum damage possible. And if we're good at the game, which someone who does not make mistakes such as myself will be, it means we get all the more damage. A little bit of a jumping challenge here. Dodge that. Dodge that. Jump up here. Wait for the mace to fly by. I don't think we can dodge roll through the mace immediately, as we might end up running into the other one. So we'll roll high, and then try to duck under the next one, just like that. Now, this is the one that always gives me trouble. Like so. At least we're not cursed. And now, what is our best route? We will now have to take into account that there are the partial scrolls starting with 3 BC, which means that if we want to maximize our scroll count, we actually can't just pick any route. We'll need to get into the ancient sewers, and I think dilapidated Arboretum, as usual, will be best for a tactics-based build. From here we can go to prison depths, and then ancient sewers. Loading screen. Take a drink. Peppermint tea this evening. Should help with the chills and possibly a sore throat. We'll take that, even though it replaces one of our items. It's essentially a direct upgrade. Skip you because we are waiting on the forge. Ooh, damage to a stun target. And freezing enemies with a parry. Exceptional. I don't think we'll need to change our arsenal. You know what, for a test. It does work like that. Okay. So now, after a roll, once it recharges, we'll drop ice shards, which should be able to slow down a few enemies in front of us. Looking for certain things that are common in most games, trilogies, certain boss matches, listening to find a pattern that the professor has already called out. Indeed, it is part of the game, Kayla. So the loot in the timer or kill rooms, those are both going to be the same rewards. Neither is better than the other. Just do whichever ones you can access. And it seems I forgot just how strong the slow is from the ice shards, which should make it very easy to score critical hits on just about all of our enemies. And the bonus damage versus stun targets means that we get extra damage after a parry. Like this. Go ahead and zap you, dodge you over here, and zap you. Parry. And we can't hold down the lightning for too long because for some reason, it starts hurting you after you use it long enough. You build it up to critical hits, you'll see that the lightning turns yellow. And then afterwards it will turn red and start damaging you, which I don't think really serves any purpose other than probably being a thinly veiled reference to Revenge of the Sith. After all, the tooltip when you pick it up says unlimited power. So here we have the whole thing with Palpatine hurting himself from using too much Force lightning. I think he wouldn't have been wearing rubber gloves like myself. I think we might want to clear out the surroundings a bit first. There we go. Now we can focus on this. Wonderfully done. No Topaz Amulet, zap you. And zap. Or Homunculus you. Yeah, this game is way better on the gamepad. I'm using one of my old gamepads which has worn down on the stick a bit. I think if you hold down and to the left, it sometimes gives a jumping input. So I stopped using this one for fighting games. But I think it will still work wonderfully for action games like this. Could you always do that with your... Oh, you mean this? I've always been able to. I've done it occasionally. Usually after making an important point, or making a joke about the rubber gloves, which aren't normally visible. Brutality, since we're going to spread out our health as much as possible. Come on. Better pray that we don't find anyone inside a pool of water. They'll get crit both from the ice shards and the lightning bolts. You swear you never saw that. Well, now you have. I do only do it occasionally though, like maybe once every 6 streams or so. Maybe that comes down essentially to once a week, is how frequently I do it. Don't often have time to reach over and hit all the other little functions I have. I know you've seen this one though. Zap you, dodge roll here. Okay, the ice shards are a wonderful choice. We're doing very well with them. No cocoon because we have Rampart. What's so damn fast, the game or me doing this? Because there have been times that I've left it on for quite a while. Swoop. And there's our 60 KOs. I wonder if the Rampart shield actually protects you from taking damage from the lightning bolt. Although I think it comes in after the shield would expire. So we might not have an opportunity to test that. Now you'll understand why the mad scientist enjoys his lightning bolt so much. Which, I would love to get back to Elder Scrolls sometime. Especially since we are drawing in a bit Glasses Glare only stream. You know, that's not a bad idea. It certainly helps with the branding. I've definitely left it on by accident for even hours on some of the Guilty Gear streams. Bonus damage to a stunned target and Biters Crawl from the Dead. Versus... Oh, extra damage on electrified targets. Well, that's an incredibly easy pick. We'll stick with this one. Ah, there was a little guy over here. And money, which is more important. Perhaps not tonight. Maybe I'll issue that as a challenge for sometime later this week. No idea what I want to stream tomorrow. Might be more Dead Cells, or maybe it'll... No, I don't think I want to do Inscription. I don't want to build up on too many of the same game in 1 week. Actually, would anyone be interested in Oblivion? Elder Scrolls are a personal favorite of mine, and that is something I don't think I've streamed in 6 months. Perhaps I might be able to gather more traction with more of a viewer base to build off of this time. After all, back then I only had maybe 1 or 2 viewers who were close friends. Parry that, dodge roll over here. Oh, we are on fire today! Gladly there's no one there to hurt us. Pick this up, dodge roll over here so we do not get clapped. Oh, right, we can't even enter that door yet. No matter, we've already gotten our 60 KOs. So that will not hold us back any more than the fact that we'll have to find one of our recovery items. You'll find 2 health items guaranteed in every level, 1 under an enemy and 1 inside of a wall. Or was it 1 of each kind? You might be able to find 2 of the 50% healing items in a level. I'll have to look that one up again. But it definitely is necessary for the higher difficulty streams, or, the higher difficulty runs. I'm multitasking a bit too much. Because you have such limited healing through your flask. Open wide. Still no. Thinking of playing Elder Scrolls also. Well then. You know what? Let's go ahead and leave that as the stream for tomorrow then. I'd be absolutely delighted to return to Oblivion. Skyrim is something I've been playing an awful lot of lately, but I will wait to stream that until I have a beefier computer capable of handling it. Let's actually go for Great Owl of War here. Great Owl of War, the one that we just picked up, has bonus damage versus a bleeding target, which we'll be able to get crazy amounts of DPS after we set up. Oh yeah, look at that. Zap you. I think Oblivion was actually the second game I streamed. When I started out, I was doing mostly just Guilty Gear. Ooh, just barely got that parry. And didn't get that one. Ooh, a wolf trap might even be better. Well, there's the health I said we were going to need. Ah, and it has a star. Okay, that might be better than the bleeding trap then. Generates a shield when used. Yeah, I think that will be a wonderful choice. Hold an enemy in place and let us charge up our lightning for critical hits. It is no longer a survival weapon, but it does kind of function like one because you need a large opening in order to hold the lightning for long enough to get the critical hits there. So having a wolf trap to lock someone facing away from you will essentially up your DPS a lot more like you would with a survival build. See what's behind curtain number 2. Only one option here, and that is the better Rampart, which grants us even more DPS. We don't really need the freeze from it. In fact, it might be better that we don't have one that freezes, given that we want the stun immediately, which synergizes with our lightning bolt damage. And upgrading it only increases its damage, which we already have buffed from the critical hit, so I don't think we need that. Buff this up? Ah, wonderful. I wonder if we have a reliable way to poison someone. We won't upgrade the ice shards because we can probably replace them with better ice shards soon enough. And that 40% damage buff versus electrified targets will work just fine until then. So, what do we want here? We're rarely ever taking damage, but I think alienation just for... I mean, after this we only really will be taking the curse in the graveyard, so I don't think we're going to need it. In that case... Tranquility. For a relatively reasonable damage boost. Loading screen, take a drink. Hey honey, I'm home. Ooh. Poison and inflammable. It's a parry shield. I'd prefer a knockback shield, but this might actually be a better option than the rampart. We will, however, keep the rampart while we are cursed, as we will want to use a bit of the shield here. So, do our special little maneuver. I think we'll take it back at the end of the level, but for now, we need as much damage as possible. Get the attention of the Ravager, get you into the trap, anger our owl, and there should still be the... Ah! We did KO the other enemy that was up here. Scan ahead with the lightning bolt just in case. Another good thing about the lightning is it cannot be reflected. Not an arrow like a bunch of other projectiles are. And now that we're done with that, we don't really have any burning damage synergy. While the oil fire is wonderful, I think it would be better to use the parry shield here. For example, when Wolf Trap has little green, so the dual stat items, like the Wolf Trap here, those just mean that they scale with the higher of two stats. So that one will not scale if I put any more points into green. Just if my green is higher than tactics, it will use green instead. Those are generally for items that work well on two different build types, and you don't get any benefit from spreading out your stats. It's just, it can use two stats, and it will take the higher of whichever two you have. Right now, that Wolf Trap is scaling its damage entirely off of my tactics stat. The rule is always the same. Focus on one stat more than anything else. Magnetic Grenade there would have actually been wonderful with the Burning Oil Rampart. Get some extra damage off the stomp. Wonderful. Be careful. Place the wolf traps down so that no one can approach us through the fog. Wonderfully done. And with the bonus damage versus stunned targets, anyone inside a pool of water is guaranteed to lose. Now, if we could only get bonus damage versus rooted targets on a lightning bolt. Parry shield also reflects extra projectiles, so it works very well in our ranged battles. Personally, I'd prefer a knockback shield to keep our enemies at a distance. We'll see if we can find one. Who hotboxed the prison? Zap them before they can retaliate. And drop it all here. Well, hello there. What do we have? Maybe this actually works very well back here. Oh yeah, and it knocks them back. Okay, that is a way better option than the ice shards. Especially since, if I recall correctly... Yeah, it takes such a long time to wind up if you use it as a primary weapon, but in a backpack it fires immediately once you fire your other ranged weapon. Welcome, Bruno! So this is Dead Cells. This is a roguelike Metroidvania game. Action-based and, like a lot of other roguelikes, you have a variable level which regenerates every time you die, so essentially, you're trying to get to the end of it on one life. Now, the game itself is not that long to get through. It'll be about roughly an hour and a half to get to the end. That is, if you play it right. But the game itself, we are... no. As much as I wanted to use Legendary Bone. So, the objective here is to adapt by finding certain bits of equipment and making a build that you can use to take on the enemies afterwards. No. Welcome, Gosu. And I believe this is the door leading into the ancient sewers. Yes, this is exactly where we need to go. From here, we will route on to... what is it? The... Forgotten Crypt? Insufferable Crypt, that's what it's called. And then from there, into the graveyard. Skip you, we're focusing on the forge for now. Extra damage when you are at max HP. Well, we'll keep it while we have it. Now, what are we looking for here? Now, the support gives us extra damage with the traps, but I think Crow's Foot would be much more important for the boss coming up, as leaving those down to slow down our enemies will give us a better chance to avoid them. So essentially, Bruno, we have a variety of different levels, and each one of these is going to randomly generate. We have to get through them by adapting to the environment and just generally being good with picking up whatever weapons we find and making good use of them. Right now, we are running a build mostly focused around ranged weapons. As seen with the lightning bolt here and the bow in our backpack. This build gives us low health, so we want to stay at a distance from anyone we encounter, basically. And hello there, and goodbye! Okay, the legendary Yumi definitely works. We might even keep that one to the end. Wander through here. And up through here. We don't care about the balance blade behind there because that does nothing for our current build. We are wanting to stay away from enemies, not in front of them. I don't like doing this. And get rid of you. Alright, as always, just focus everything into damage. Ah. I wonder if the cooldown on the acrobatic pack actually depends on what weapon you have in there. Where did you... Oh. We knocked him off because of the, Yumi bow. Might not be very good for us near platforms, but... Ooh. Well, now we get to test out that theory. Wonderfully done. Ooh, wait. With the Yumi there... Well, thank you for ruining my damage streak, I guess. But hey, new weapon. You'll also find blueprints for new weapons and equipment as you go along, which you can unlock later. So you unlock a bunch of different tools that you can use to get through the game. So one thing I didn't consider yet is the Yumi bow we have in the backpack will knock Conjunctivius's tentacles into each other, and we might be able to really clear out the waves which otherwise do actually give me a lot of trouble. Is there another one below us? I diverted my focus far too much. Ah, there is one below us. Not a very fun guy, I'd say. Well, since we are in danger, I am sad to say we'll have to use a flask charge. I do believe we'll get another one after the boss, so we'll be okay for a bit. There you are, you little... Damage, more important than anything else. Take the slow, which I think might be more important than the parry, because usually when you parry the tentacles, they immediately duck back under. Indeed. This build is turning out quite wonderfully. Ah, we should have saved that watermelon, just in case we got hit again. Guess we didn't need a flask then, after all. Yep, that's what we could have saved the watermelon for. No matter, we'll get through this just fine. Lightning out, and see if you have a better amulet for us. No. Quickly? Yeah, the mushrooms are among my least favorite enemies as well. Mostly because of the fact that they can attack you so subtly through walls, like what you saw a moment earlier. Sure, it's easy to see from if they're attacking from above. That little lightning icon whenever they start their little quake, I didn't get to see it happening from below. And from the next room over. Wait for that to explode. Come around behind. We are getting a very frightening amount of damage here, but the entire point is we're probably not allowed to get hit even once, since we aren't really upgrading our health whatsoever. Go back over here. Welcome back, Decursion. I'm glad you're excited to see this. And so far, we are making a very wonderful tactics run. Found ourselves a legendary Yumi bow, which pushes enemies away and might actually make the Conjunctivius fight super easy. Once we get into a later level, probably the cavern, we'll want to fish for a lightning bolt very soon. Wonderfully done. Ah, more health. And I do believe we're under that 15% threshold. Good. Maximum efficiency. Take that. Here is the end of the level. Now we just take a look. Well, more than anything else, we just want the cells. Now, we will be back. We want to clear out the entirety of the level to make sure we get all the scrolls. Yeah, Conjunctivius is probably the easiest boss. Only issue I have is with the tentacle phase, because it's a little difficult for me to track where all of them are at once. So I usually end up taking a little bit of damage there. Funny enough, there's actually dialogue in the game that refers to Conjunctivius as a she, interestingly enough. Now, hear me out on this. As much as I love having a pet, the small amount of hit stop from the owl hitting things tends to disrupt our parry timings in potentially very dangerous manners. The Crusher here will probably be a better choice. Just perfected the Concierge. Congratulations. They actually added the golden outfits for doing that. Zap. And we can't get up there ourselves, so we have to homunculus rune our way up there. Take that. Steal this. Now, you'll see, I went out of my way to go attack him, and look what we just found. Why is this so good? I told you, Kayla. Dead Cells is the greatest game ever made. Non-stop action, and it never stops delivering content. That's why I focus on roguelikes so much. It's because they have so much potential to give you more and more, given that they generate things rather than you playing through the same level over and over again. Oh, Lord have mercy on me for this one. Our amulet does not give us extra jumps. Oof. Blood pressure. Oh, right. Got through there, no harm done. With there, it's a bit of a different matter. Roll through here. Wait for that, roll here. And I do believe we're headed off to the boss next. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's anything in the way of important enemies for us to deal with now. There should be a teleporter here. Indeed. Is Inscription a roguelike? Yes. Yeah, roguelite, essentially. It's even advertised like that on the Steam page. So the rule with roguelikes is it doesn't have a set level design. You basically start out with very little, and you have to pick up tools along the way, which are randomly generated. That is basically the important thing is it's defined by not having a set level design, and so you don't know what to expect as it randomly generates the challenge ahead of you. Break through there, hope we don't die on the next level. You know, I think the damage buff from getting extra poison damage on its own toxic cloud is more important than upgrading it. So we will not. Siphon, I still disagree, and I'm looking for the chance to be proven wrong. But from the 3 times I've tried to slog through Hollow Knight, I disagree. Just like what's his name? Pulris in Pokemon. I disagree. Almost. Wait for him. Her. And here comes the important part. We'll need these traps. Which might be able to do all the damage without us needing it. No chance to perfect. Nothing there. You know, I don't use enough of the walls on this boss fight. Maybe that's the secret. We jump up here. Then we can basically get a good read on wherever the first tentacle that moves separately from the others is going to go. Parry. Ah, he ran right through the slow. Come over here. There we go. That is what I like to see. And a forge upgrade. Really? What a nice find. Get rid of you, take these scroll fragments. And now we get another level up. Now, the important part of this run. We need to get through the graveyard relatively unharmed. I think we can go ahead and ditch the crow's feet for this level, as we'll be trying to get our health off of the cursed chest. We want to fill that up as much as possible, as that is actually our best chance of getting... Oh, right, we should have invested in that instead. The forge there is our best chance of getting better items. On average, we'll find more advanced weapons, which will be able to do more damage or protect us more often, and more importantly, have more effects to fish for synergies with. And then alienation, which will let us get a bit of health off the cursed chest that we find here. Loading screen, take drink. What an excellent run so far. Pick this up. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting to get through. Let's go ahead and parry the guy down here first. I know you're looking for me. Fine. Luckily, those projectiles can be parried through walls. Whoa, there's the problem. Maybe having a little extra DPS from the owl was a better option. That should be the only difficult part of the level design here. Cavern is the hardest. Wait until you play 5BC. Hold on, I gotta make sure the eyebrows are visible. Really gotta exaggerate those facial expressions for the face tracking to pick up on it. Drop these down here, and let them take care of the enemies below. That is the treasure. We want to look for the key first. Which is still further ahead, it looks like. Cavern is definitely... I'd say it's probably the second hardest biome. Definitely. Wait for the smoke to clear. We want to make sure we can see ahead of us. And coming up soon, we should have the passage to get the key. We'll have to play extremely cautiously here. Drop those, and see who it is. Perfect. Onto the key, and... Flask it is! Ah, we had a speed boost. Oh, well, we're still in trouble. Looks like we didn't need it. I think there's actually a shop to buy another flask charge in here. We'll see. That's another reason we want to fish for as much gold as possible. And check our map. Now we go back through the main passageway. Ooh, don't want to fall down there. Just in case. Long falls have ended many a run on this channel. Open that up. Give him a nice greeting. Now you have to be careful with these long horizontal hallways because enemies can wander in from levels on either side, and luckily, it seems we have found the cursed chest early, so we can get this out of the way before having too many issues. This crusher will have... ooh... bonus damage on rooted targets, hello! We've got a boss killer combo right there. Don't get hit, don't get hit. Patiently wait for the Inquisitor to fire. And I'll show you a little trick here. Siphon, make sure you're watching for this one. If you're currently cursed and need to eliminate one of these bats who's sitting under a platform... Oh, wait. It doesn't work if we're cursed. But you can use the homunculus to climb down that chain and actually attack the bat there. Since we do have a right thumbstick and we can look downward, we can see that there's water below us, and therefore... a good chance to zap some enemies. One more. And it looks like we have to go through those traps. Don't choke. No. I'll take my chances down here instead. Ah, perfect. And curse lifted. We'll still have to play cautious, but we can play a bit more confidently, since we can now, once again, afford to make a mistake. 60 kills, no damage. Unlock that, get some gold. Drop these. I can see why the Sith love their lightning so much. This stuff is wonderful. Ah! I didn't know that slamming on the platform above would do that. I'll have to test that. I didn't even know. Drop this and hide. Wonderfully done. Funny enough, the Gilded Yumi there is actually an incredible combination with the Lightning Bolt, as the lightning is normally used for single targets, but the Yumi basically lets us push a bunch of enemies together. This is what we need that key for. And next we go off to the cavern. But first we'll want to clear out this level first, see if we have any other little scrolls for us to find. Like just up there. And there's never anything harmful at the bottom of this passageway, so take that and ignore the cocoon, because we don't care about it. Ah, there were a couple of enemies we could have just KO'd up here. And take the scroll from here. Take care of you before you teleport over here and become a problem. Zap you in the water, zap you out of the water. Ah, I would have died there, because I missed my parry. I think once we actually get both traps out, we might not want to worry about parrying. Or wait to throw the traps until after we get a parry out. And what's this? Seems like an odd structure for a trap room to be right there. We have another Minotaur scroll down here. Very important because we need health. And the first few scrolls will make all the difference. Ah, the bots are now key mashing their names now. Get out of my classroom. Parry that. And we do get to buy another flask charge here. Yeah, I think just in case we'll want it. We're not gonna get another one until after we beat the giant, and I have a feeling we will take damage during that boss battle. A chest over there. Let's go ahead and check this out. Dodge roll. Open this up. Another parry shield. Slightly worse. The colorless items are actually things I should use a lot more often, as while they don't have the scaling of legendary items, they always come with a lot of effects on them. I think it's actually +1 over what would be an equivalent. Sorry, Rampart, I love you, but I found something else that might be a bit more useful. No, that was a mistake. Rampart's incredible for the giant boss battle. Very well. Hop over this lava one last time. And on to the second to last level you guys will see. Of the new levels, there's one more at 5 BC. I will not elaborate further. We don't really care about the legendary one then, so yeah. That's actually better than the legendary bow. Especially considering we aren't spreading our stats out very much at all. Leviathan might be streaming. It is not her obligation to moderate my chat. Extra damage on electrified targets. And firing extra arrows, I think the 40 damage versus electrified targets is good enough. Yeah, Leviathan might be on a charging station right now. Getting ready for another deployment. Wow, I might have a new favorite. Peppermint tea, quite wonderful. Definitely helped me with the sore throat a few weeks ago. Now we get to have trouble, as this level features demons, who fly ahead of us and drop down some pretty nasty fireballs. On their own, not really a problem. The issue is that they can fly through walls and will often group up with other enemies. Luckily, there's lots of pools of water here for us to zap. And you know how I feel about these guys. Reflect that. Okay, yeah, the bonus damage from that gilded Yumi, much better. Get you trapped. Get you zapped. Nothing else off this beaten path. I don't know why the elevators in this level are so thin. Those guys are essentially upgraded Inquisitors, and they drop explosive bombs. Those things also explode on us. There's a lot of things that explode in this level. And we do not want to encounter one of the bears. Zap you before you get started. Well, I said bears. Wait until he passes by. Ah! Taken care of without our needed involvement. Also, again, the music slaps. Avoid him. Avoid you if we can get away with it. Ooh, interesting choice. Now, pushing away enemies is important, definitely. But what does this do for our DPS? Ah, does it only fire the one arrow? It looks like it only fires the one arrow. So the Yumi pushing away enemies will probably be a lot more important, even if it is significantly lower damage. Making sure that we avoid damage in the first place is important, which we can do that very easily by just pushing them away. That's another reason why upping our damage is more important than upping our health. The faster we KO our enemies, the less we have to worry about taking damage on our end. Now, here we have a shop with tactics weapons. So we're gonna see if we can find a better lightning bolt here. Already approaching the point of unaffordability. Ah, we run out of recycles. So no options here. Looks like our lightning bolt still does exceptional damage though. We'll have to wait until next level, it seems. You actually can't hit those guys from behind. And they do not get stunned by your parries, so when they start their attack, you have to parry all 3 hits of their usual strike. Don't get close because that thing does have a gravity field. Ah, that would have been a wonderful parry though. Wait until our traps recharge because we are playing cautiously. And done. Ah, I thought that hit would have killed him. We might have trouble with the boss coming up. parry shield works wonders. Alright. As we said, this level is very difficult. You'll have to be very, very careful. Is there a way I can attack you without immediately confronting you? There we go. Parry that. Get your attention. Woohoo, over here. Or not. Yeah, that's only a lightning bolt too, so we could definitely afford something much more powerful. That would have been his combo. Got you trapped. And I think that's a double jump spot we need over here. No other way to get up that I see. Okay, I might want to take... I'll take a screenshot of this. This is weird. I haven't seen a level design like this before. I think we're supposed to jump up there, but... that's a bit of a difficult jump to make. Let's see if there's any... no, I don't think there are any... there's one over here. Got him. One parry does just fine. Go ahead and block you there. Funny enough, if you actually hit them while they're flying, you drop them to the ground with a stun. Zap you, and that's this little area cleared. Nah, the damage is more important than anything else. As always. Good night, Siphon. Stay tuned. I'm liable to do a programming stream soon. Really? So this is our only route forward up here. Yeah, that's where we have to go. But it's a jumping challenge. Okay. That was dangerous, but we made it work. Interesting. I think the Gilded Yumi actually knocks them out of the trap. Get the damage, zap you, and bait you over here into the trap. Alright, we're getting to the end of the level here, and we haven't even popped Flask yet. Get you before you fire off anything. With a parry shield, it'll be very easy to reflect the projectiles of those guys since it reflects so many extra ones. And you can see it just one-shots them on the retaliation. was there? There it is. A little bit of money for the trip home. Ooh. Slightly better. But it doesn't have the rooted damage synergy, and only has a marginal damage increase, even if it is a much more powerful item, in essence. So we'll not be taking it. Our build might essentially be finalized until we find a better lightning bolt. Really, that's the only thing we're missing. Bit of extra health from that scroll will be incredible for us. Wait for the demon to get over here. And these are skills over here. We might be able to find something better than our current wolf trap. Another crusher. Seems like no other wolf traps here. What's your most OP item right now? I'd say it's definitely the crusher over here. Extra damage to a stunned target, bonus damage on rooted targets, and generates a toxic cloud, so it enables a lot of the DPS that I have the rest of my build using. Basically, it buffs up the damage of the rest of my kit on top of the crusher already being one of the best items in the game. It's one of the few items that actually has enough breach power to make bosses flinch. And under the right circumstances, you can even stun lock a boss. You can actually go back on one of the previous streams I did, just a couple of weeks ago, and I perfected the final boss using its slowdown effect. Granted, that final boss is indeed a spoiler, but it's on the one, labeled "But I'm beating it this time," I think. It both slows down enemies and deals huge damage to stun them, so together really trivializes a lot of fights, so long as your enemy is on the ground. More skills. But we might have a better wolf trap here. Or not. Oh, wait. You know what? Let's rock it. If we can get a parry, and then set down both of our traps, we become a DPS monster. Come over here. With these guys, we mostly just want to fish for their projectiles. It is a little difficult to read them sometimes, because they also have a melee attack. Poison damage means they explode into a toxic cloud whenever they KO an enemy, and so the poison damage really helps us with groups of enemies like that. Do we need another flask charge? Drop this down. I think we can actually make it to the end of the level without it. don't get impatient now. Ah, there we go. Now we get a view of all the scrolls we have remaining, and not much. Indeed, only a few more enemies we have to fight. Oh, right! We can reflect the barrels. Those count as bombs. Of course he hovers over the, There we go. Okay. No, get out of there. I am literally about to have a heart attack. Traveling upward is incredibly dangerous. Luckily, we have a bit of extra health from that amulet right there. Wonderful find. Get this. And now we think. Let's try to see if we can sneak up on him from over here. Ooh, ice armor. Very good. Welcome, Kai. So glad to see you here. Another fellow Dead Cells fanatic. No Vorpan for me. Pick this up, and we will probably pick Brutality. Indeed, Brutality. Lightning's one of my favorite items, so I always try to be careful with it. Ah, and there's a chest over there. I don't know if we should take the risk. We can afford it if we play very carefully and turn back around if we get ourselves into some hot water. Because all in all, that might be another lightning bolt in there. There's the exit, and there's actually a secret item over here. But I don't think we want to go for it tonight. At least not on this run. If I had more health and the ability to afford making a mistake, I would. But this is a tactics build, and we do not have health to spare. Oh boy. Well then. Get a new item. Buying alcoholic outfit, I see. That one's supposed to be the Santa costume, I think. Okay, yeah, we can definitely make it through here without taking damage. Crusher activates. We have 3 more enemies, and I don't think we need to fight any of them. Of course it's a shark. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah, so there's one of the hardest levels in the game complete. Now we just have the boss and the levels afterwards to deal with. And we will need to be taking this route when we get to 4 BC just as well. No door for us. Taking far too much damage. Submit our blueprints, and we will focus on the advanced forge. And then ice armor, because ice armor is wonderful. But we won't use it on this build. Even if we get a colorless version here. No, the stacking DPS we have is far too important. And that will actually help us survive even longer. Extra damage to a target covered in burning oil, so we need to get that exact setup that I mentioned. Extended healing, disengagement, and... do we need acrobatic pack at this point? Let's see, we have one more level after this. Might as well. And then, pop a flask, we'll take this one. Wait for our health to recharge on the elevator ride down, and then it is time to fight the next boss, the Giant, which we have yet to encounter on this channel. Mostly because I had to deal with the whole DLC issues, and so essentially I had to buy this game twice. Ah, we get to voice act.
You here? The malaise really had its way with you.
What a jolly fellow.
Yes, indeed. In keeping with your arrogance, which has brought nothing but ruin on the kingdom, in spite of all my warnings. Not a shred of hope is left to us.
Parry, parry, parry. Ah, no chance to perfect here. And zap this. Ooh, nice parry. Nice parries there, too. Not the DPS I was looking for. And now he will do his big slam attack, which causes shards to start falling from the ceiling. Ah, we got hit with the shockwave. Parry these. Take the damage over here. He does it again. Smash his hands. And then he can catch these.
You were a model for all of us. What drove you to all this destruction? You've managed to destroy even your own body. My king.
I love this part.
You are an incorrigible ass!
I love that part. Ooh, and we get the Giant Killer. One of my favorite weapons. Don't need this. We'll take that. Don't need this. Take these. Yeah, we'll still focus on tactics. Oh, almost missed this. Wait. We can actually go straight to the final boss from here. That's right. You know what? I think we can do it. I think we can do it. So after the giant, you can skip the last level and go straight to the Hand of the King. And given that our set works a lot better on bossing than it does on enemies, I think we can afford to do this. Put points into the Giant Killer because we will opt to be doing that soon. Now. Now I don't think we need to worry about Acrobatic Pack anymore. So again, Extended Healing, Disengagement, and then... Ooh, Instinct of the Master of the Arms lets us use our traps more often. I think that is exactly the build that we need. Which means we don't need this anymore. We can sell that. Bonus damage to a stun target. Arrows come back. Bonus damage on rooted targets. We don't have many rerolls, so I don't think there's really a need to be... See if we can do this once. You know, that is technically more damage there. Bonus damage to electrified targets. I think this is the only set we need to worry about. Rock and roll. Last sip of tea, and I really have to go to the bathroom right now, but if I leave my seat, I lose all my momentum. Would you look at that? Here we go again. Do you miss him? I know I do. Zap him again. And pop flask. We are in trouble. Not so much trouble anymore. Oh boy. Pop another one. And get stun locked in. That, class, is why I don't play tactics builds. You cannot afford to take damage whatsoever. Although in that case, I think we might have been thinking a little bit ahead too much. So I knew he was going to do that stomp soon and I stood on the blue platform, but I forgot. Those actually fall out from underneath you after a little bit. So we should have flasked on the ground and then jumped up there. You know, I think we can actually... Yeah. I'm not going to do another run tonight, but what I'd like to do is get a little bit more practice against his tells. Because that boss has always given me much more trouble than he affords. So let's see if we can get in a couple of practice rounds against him. The most important part is we did unlock Cavern and beat the giant. And that's really what we needed to do this run. To think we were so close. Our lightning wasn't nearly powerful enough either. So this is where the doors lead. Neat. Guess it works just like the other room, so go ahead and train all you want. Are you still eager to practice? You're in the right place. It's all about training here. Kill or die trying. And maybe try again. So we do have the practice room. We can practice against his tells a little bit. Like you did see me at the beginning of the battle. Pretty easy to just... roll out of there. You don't want to parry his charge move. I think we can actually look for the sound cues more than anything else. I've gotten pretty good at that one. So the issue with this charge is that he still keeps pushing you along, even after you parry it. So when he charges, you generally want to roll behind him. I wonder if it would be better if we actually turned off the little exclamation point signal, because that might be throwing me off. Then I could look for the sound cues instead. we can focus on sounds and visuals other than the little exclamation point. Like so. Roll that. Ah, we landed before we had the chance to parry. Okay, so as a plan, I think when those little flags come down, we might just want to avoid them altogether. Welcome, Seligman. We're currently practicing, we're not actually facing the final boss or anything right now. We're just getting in a little bit of practice to handle him. Because I seldomly actually reach the final boss, it's nice to have a strategy to develop against him. And right now, it's looking like once those flags drop down, we just want to try to position ourselves to avoid, or at least lock down an area of the arena, which avoids most of them. Good parry. Can't parry that. The bombs are also a problem. Get over here where the flags don't hit us. Parry him. That might be what we want to get skills for with the specific matchup here. A skill that can hit all the other flags when they come down. That's an idea. Most importantly, we just want to make sure we have a rampart, because that's still the best shield in the game by a long shot. Yeah, we did just have a very, very good run. The farthest we've gotten on 3BC so far. And I think our next run has quite a bit of promise. Let's rock once more. Wonderfully done. So his 3-hit combo has a very, very loud sound cue. And then the rest of the time, if you just see him start up a swing, it means he's going to do his earthquake attack. That one. Also, it looks like it's not a good idea to try parrying those bombs since he throws a lot of them behind you. That's a bit of a difficult cue to pick up on. Interesting. The punishment shield doesn't actually destroy the flags either. The most important thing to know is that his second hit hits on both sides of him. Of that 3-hit combo. Pop flask. Also, the hammer's not really the best weapon to be fighting him with. Right, we need to jump over that one. When he starts charging that, wait. Okay. You'll see how he still pushed me despite the parry. You know what? I think at the beginning of next stream, we might actually practice against him a little bit before we head in. We now have all of the doors unlocked here, it seems. Including the queen who's available over here. And then here's our secret endgame boss at the end of 5 boss cells. But I don't think we have enough time to necessarily do another run tonight. Tuesdays are usually busy for me, so in this case, I'll go ahead and end us right here while we're essentially quitting while we're ahead. A high note with a very wonderful run tonight, and we might just try to get in some practice versus the final boss next time. And I think we might just try to stick to brutality or survival builds. Or really, what caught us that time is that we weren't doing enough damage to the boss. We still had a level 2 weapon at the end. Just bad luck with getting better weapons. So we might have had a better chance if we just picked something that did 5 times damage up earlier in the run. We'll see for it next time. And we'll just generally try to focus on better weapon builds whatsoever. So, tomorrow, I think we'll actually do an impromptu Oblivion stream. I left it as a guerrilla night, and I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. But Oblivion sounds like a wonderful return to something relaxing that I did a while ago. Given how recently we've been gaining a lot of traction, a lot of impressions, a lot of viewership, and a lot of new folks showing up, we might actually be able to carve out a niche in the Elder Scrolls department, which is something I've been looking forward to a long time. We're already doing so well with the roguelikes and the fighting games, so I hope to see you then. Thursday will be Inscription, and Friday, again, we have a very, very, very special announcement to be making at that time. And I hope you will all join me for what is my favorite stuff to do, essentially. Yeah, sure, I talk about Dead Cells being the best game of all time, but fighting games are so much more personable, and get a lot of good conversation with the chat, too. Good night, everyone. Class is dismissed, and you have all been... Wait, what was the quote? Oh, it's thank you for your attendance. And now class is dismissed. Thank you, Kayla, Kai, Seligman, Siphon, Decursion, everyone for showing up. Loser and Bruno as well. Ooh, and Harris. Welcome back. Wait, no. I don't think I've seen you here before. Well, thank you anyways for your attendance regardless.